Energetic loss, folks. It's happening to us all on a daily basis. This is largely due to the way that the system architects have designed this world, whereby interacting with it causes your body and your mind to be unnaturally stressed, remarkable stress levels. This world puts you under an assault, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you can act like you're tough and, oh, it doesn't affect me, bro. Like, what am I? I'm a light worker. It doesn't affect me. Bullshit. Half of you, 99% of you light workers and you so-called, you're a conscious people, are brain dead beyond words. No offense. Stop acting like you've got it all figured out. We are all wounded, folks. We are all experiencing the entropy, if you will, of the Archon in this insane world that we all live in currently. So, accelerated energetic loss is something that happens by default in this world. Luckily, there's some remedies. Luckily, we can alleviate these wounds to a large extent through dietary alterations, proper supplementation, and the 4 inner exercises that we talk about semi-regularly here on this channel. Those are the inner temple exercise, the motionlessness exercise, the full body relaxation exercise, and the thoughtlessness exercise. There's a reason why I preach about these folks so often. It's not just because I think they're cool or it's part of some little, fascination that I have. No, it's because they work. And things that work, I like to talk about, because things that work in a world where many things don't work are kind of important, especially when it comes to our health and our well-being. So, the water that we drank the majority of our life growing up was filled full of accumulative poisons: hexafluorosilicic acid, hydrofluorosilicic acid, fluorine compounds, fluoride, disinfectant byproducts, algicide, cobalt, radioactive constituents, chlorine, chloramines, runoff, inorganic calcium and lime that'll literally clog a sink pipe to the point where water won't run through it. Trust me, I've been on multiple job sites where the plumber had to cut pipes out because the lime and the calcium was so accumulative that it caused the sink to not even be able to be turned on. And that's because the water was so hard. Hard water is water that's filled full of contaminants, filled full of inorganic compounds, minerals, you name it. So unfortunately, the majority of us didn't get conscious to all of this until we were in our adult years. Now, because of that, we drank a lot of that crap. We have a lot of those accumulative poisons in our tissues. We've got to get that shit the fuck out. So water filtration and or preferably distillation is the preferred method, or these are preferred methods to start removing those toxins, those poisons, those metals, etc. out of the water, so that when you drink, you are not bathing yourself in a toxic soup of New World Order mind control constituents that are going to accumulate in your tissues. Catch my drift? This is one of the remedies. On the battlefield of life, you are your own medic, folks. We all have to start taking more responsibility for our health, because this is no joke. I don't think people realize how far we've actually fallen from what our actual potential is. We are designed to be upright, walking, realized demigods, enlightened and connected to God through Christ, also known as the risen Kundalini. That's what Christ is. We've fallen into such a state of slumber that our consciousness currently resembles some type of deep unconscious sleep. We are not lucid. So, the remedy, part of the remedy at least, is to address the water that you're drinking, the water that you're bathing in, the water that you're cooking your food with. You know how much better soup tastes if you're making homemade soup? If you make it with distilled water, try it. It doesn't even taste the same. Distilled water feels completely different inside of your mouth than hard water, even filtered water. Distilled water is the most pure water in this dimension. I mean, try to challenge me with that logic. What water is purer than distilled water? Filtered water? Absolutely not. Filters are great because they're convenient. And they're a lot easier for most people to use than a distiller that takes upwards of 4 hours to distill 1 gallon of water. It's kind of windy out here, guys. I apologize. But filters are dark, wet, and damp, and cold. They're a perfect bacteria breeding ground. And on top of that, when the filter accumulates the toxins and the crap, how would I explain this? When you filter water, the stuff that you filter out of the water gets stuck in the filter membrane. It gets to a point where now anytime you filter your water, it's running through all of that accumulated crap in the filter. That can't be good. Catch my drift? I hope that makes sense. It's like a core that's full of crap. And now every time you run water through it, it runs through that core of crap that's accumulated a bunch of garbage. Distillation is hands down the best way to purify your water. You're removing everything from it. And there were periods of time where I was so extreme about my distillation techniques where I'd distill the same gallon 3 times and get it hyper pure. And then I would vortex the water. I would bless it. I would add crystal energy to it. I would rebuild it. Because distilled water is indeed a blank slate. It's like a hard drive that's been cleaned. But after I distill my water, I like to reprogram it. We've gone over that extensively in the past. I'm not going to again in this video. But that's just one of the remedies that we use to stop the accelerated energetic loss, the accelerated loss of our battery, our lifespan, our energy, our well-being. Catch my drift? Now, on top of that, one of the greatest ways to invigorate your body and your mind with energy is through the food that you eat, changing it, upgrading it, making it better. No one's asking you to be perfect. I still eat junk food from time to time as well. No one's asking you to be poly-perfect. No one's saying that you can't smoke a cigarette here and there or do something like that. I mean, come on, guys, let's be realistic. But at least 80, preferably 99% of what you do should be geared towards you getting something out of it. You growing from it. Catch my drift? And the foods, unfortunately, nowadays, won't help you do that. I'm sorry. They just won't. And on top of that, most people's digestion is totally wrecked from years of eating gluten, from years of eating all of the chemical additives and the crap, which were designed literally to destroy your gut's ability to absorb nutrients. Almost fell. A handful of the most common foods that you find on the supermarket shelves or at the junk food drive-thrus, etc., those foods have constituents in them that destroy your microvilli, your colonies of absorptive tissues that line your small intestine. Your villi absorb nutrients from the food that you eat after your stomach has pre-digested them. After years of eating garbage food and destroying your villi, you've destroyed your absorptive sponges in your small intestine, rendering any food you eat, whether good or bad, unable to be uptaken by your villi and distributed into your body. Your villi absorb nutrients and transfer or ferry them into your body. So you mean to tell me that if you kill off your villi with garbage foods, you're going to be able to absorb everything that you eat? Please. We have to get away from the bad foods for prolonged periods so that we can recolonize our villi. I don't care how much healthy food you eat, green juice and all the other shit. If your villi are destroyed, folks, you're not going to be absorbing much from that. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. I mean, what an absolute scam. What an absolute sham. What an absolute criminal attack on human beings. And it's also subtle, right? Because it's exciting. It's part of our culture. All this crap. All this junk food, the churros, and all the gluten, and all the nonsense. And that's really what's so disgusting about all of it, because of the subtlety of it. The fact that we've learned to accept it as the norm, when there's so much more that we could be experiencing. And the food is a direct assault on our health. What you eat directly influences the health of your mind and your body. There's no way around that. So you can act like, oh, what are you worried about, Sacred Serpent? Why do you care so much? You know, it's not that big of a deal. Well, that's in your opinion. But I'm over here wanting what's best for humanity, and I'm sick of this New World Order pigpen matrix that we're all caught up in. It's just fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting, and I have a reference point to gauge that off of. I've experienced Gnosis on a handful of occasions. I know what's in store for us if we get our fucking act together. I know that there's much more to the human experience than what we've been led to believe. But we're never going to know that if we continue to willingly consume the poison of culture, the poison of all the crap that's out there, all the garbage food, all the bad water, all the nonsense, you guys. How are we ever going to get out of this suboptimal bracket of being if we continue to consume and absorb the things that cause us to be in that suboptimal bracket of being? Catch my drift? What a mess. What a fucking mess, honestly. It's just, when you really become privy to the truth and you look at what's going on in this world, it's almost laughable. It's comical in a sense because of how ridiculous it is. Because of how fucking ridiculous it is. So, anyways, you guys, just a brief little rant. One of the greatest ways to slow down the energetic loss, the loss of your energy, which equates to the loss of your health and the loss of your lifespan. You know, you want to elongate your lifespan? Change what you drink. Change what you eat. Supplement properly. Your body needs 90 essential nutrients. Vitamins, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, and Jesus Christ. Vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids, and minerals. My tongue is tied today. I guess I took too much CBD. CBD, if I take it in megadoses, it gives me kind of a head high. But again, you guys, even that alone, CBD oil, quality CBD oil can help you unwind, can help you fucking delete some of that stress, right? Can kind of put you in a better headspace. There's a million different ways to stop the progression of the Archon's influence over our health, over our minds, etc. The inner exercises is one of the most important things, in tandem, of course, with the proper supplementation and the dietary alterations. I'm gonna wrap this one up because I can't speak today. Peace be with you all.